I'm just checking to see if it's going to work this time. Oh my gosh, I still don't see anything happening underneath. Oh wait, it says I'm live. Oh my gosh, maybe you guys will see me now. Okay, so apparently the first video that I did, hey Scott, yes. Good to know this is coming through. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry everyone. Oh wow. So I did a perfect job. It only was like 15 minutes long, and and so now I'm starting again. I am so sorry, everyone, that took forever. Wait, let me get my slides back in order, because I just, totally did an amazing job. Just thought I'd tell you. I think this is back in order. Wait, let me go back here. This one goes here, and now I'm trying to read these. Oh, look at that. Okay. There we go. Sorry, I'm doing this right in front of y'all. Normally, I do this ahead of time. Yay! What we call this is a mistake, and we say, woo, mistakes happen. So let me go ahead and do this again. You guys, you're totally like great friends. I appreciate you being here. Okay. My goodness. All right. Well, the good news is if I've done it once well, I can probably do it again. So here we go. Thanks for coming into the Life Practice PBL Facebook chat. We'll just pretend like the first one didn't happen. Tonight's topic is all about telling the difference between whether or not we're doing projects or doing real PBL. And whether you're new to the PBL game or whether you're an old veteran of 10 years like me, it's still good to have that reminder of what the similarities and differences are. By the way, Cindy, you didn't just finally find it. I just finally decided to actually go live. I pushed the live button. It said I was going live. I don't know what happened, but we're here now. Anyway, truth be told, even if I am a 10-year veteran of PBL, I still run back through this process to double check myself whenever I'm building projects and project-based learning. So let's do some introductions, as we always do, because I think PBL is always about community. So y'all, if you would please introduce yourselves, where you are, where you're from, at the levels you teach, and a little bit different tonight, how long have you been using PBL with your students, or thinking about it, if you haven't actually made that leap yet. So as you're answering that, I just want to remind or ask you, you are friending those people here in the chat who comment smart things, right? Because rubbing 2 or rubbing 20 brains together when we're trying to get things right, it's so much better than trying to do it all on our own, yes? So, meanwhile, my name's Ginger Lewman. I'm an international keynoter, a consultant, author, and teacher. I started into PBL in earnest back in 2006 when I was asked or tasked to start my own school that was both one-to-one laptops and 100% PBL. I got 2 days of training, and they said, off you go, and there I was. I spent the next half-decade growing that school and working with other great educators across the country, figuring out how to make amazing learning happen for my kids. And in the next half-decade, I've devoted to teaching other teachers so that they don't have to have that hard struggle from scratch that I had. So when I talk about PBL all the time, but especially here tonight, I don't want to talk from a guru point of view. I hope to still talk to and through a teacher's heart. I recognize the hard realities, and while we can keep our eyes on perfect, my hope is that you and I together can figure out something that we can do in our real classroom with real kids and the realities of scheduling, parents, testing, and things that sometimes those big PBL gurus forget are actually happening in real classrooms. So while this topic tonight's all about PBL versus doing projects, I hope in this semester-long conversation in these different topics, we can find ways to connect further, and we can share those connections with others. So if you know of somebody, a teacher or a principal or somebody else who needs to know about PBL, please do send them to this Life Practice PBL page. And by the way, when you comment and share on this video, you get entered twice to be one of the 4 winners for a copy of my brand new book. I'm so excited how many entries. I started looking at that today, and I thought I'm not even gathering them today because there's going to be more. So, and of course, you're getting entered to win that Lessons for Life Practice Learning brand new book. Yep, still smells new. So Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, your last chances to get involved in this August giveaway. During our September 1st chat, I'll go ahead and announce the winners. So, yay! That's this week. Back to the question. How do you know when it's PBL or just doing projects? First, let's talk about how they're similar, right? Projects and PBL can both be fun. They're often both hands-on. They're both often a bit messy. They often ask students to work in groups. They're often graded with rubrics at the end. They're often presented to the class at the end of a learning period. And they're both rooted in hard academic content and standards. There's a lot of similarities between the two. It's no wonder that the teacher down the hall doing great things thinks she's doing PBL, or so many administrators think that PBL and doing projects is the same thing. So let's talk about the differences now. My slides, put them over here, darn it. Okay, 1. The launch of the project. We're going to figure out if we are just doing projects or if it's PBL. So here we go. When we're starting out with our projects, does the learning start with some big idea question or a challenge that the kids have to answer, and they can't answer it without learning the information and skills along the way? If so, y'all, that's PBL. And does the learning happen with you directing what and how they'll learn, with a checklist of things to include, maybe even waypoints for check-ins and deadlines? And then the kids get a choice of what to build or show you what they've learned? That's a project, y'all. And there's nothing wrong with doing projects. It just isn't PBL. So I'm not picking on projects. Sometimes doing projects are absolutely fine. As students are getting older or more experienced, things that we're thinking about as we're building projects, are they the ones who are creating the questions instead of the teacher? Dun, dun, dun. Or are the challenges always teacher created, from the beginners to the more experienced? That's just a project, y'all. Is the question or challenge broad or specific enough to create an environment of optimal ambiguity? In other words, where nobody really has a quick Googleable answer and they're not sure, where several answers might actually be right, or where multiple academic disciplines might need to be brought together to solve the problem or question or challenge? That's PBL, y'all. Or is there a specific right or wrong answer that the students are trying to find for their end results? Is there a strong focus on only one academic area with little to no overlap with other content areas? Yep, that'd be a project. And now, let's talk about the process of learning new information. Learning process. So, do you know in advance the path the kids are going to be taking with their process? Are they often off track if they veer from your expectations and suggestions? That's doing a project. Or do you have a clear path in mind for what the kids will probably need to know, but you refrain from sharing that with them? Instead, you let the kids ask their own questions for what they need to know and learn, and materials and resources they'll need to gather as they create their own paths. And if you're okay with if the path varies greatly from your predictions, that's PBL. Well, Janine, the good news is, to repeat this in your building, show the video. And I have this I'm collecting all of these videos on YouTube, so you don't have to keep scrolling through that Facebook page to find these. So, starting to collect them there. Bruce, you're a math teacher who's trying to do PBL. There are some things that's different in a math PBL classroom. I'm not going to lie to you. Just keep this in your heart and your mind as you're thinking through, and how can I make this more open, and you're going to be doing the right thing. Okay? Let's talk about the research. Right? So kids are doing research in PBL and in projects too, right? So where do students get their information for research? Have you provided all the materials they're going to need for the research with specific right or wrong answers possible? That's just a project. Have you created avenues for them to be able to contact additional resources of information, including different people? Do they sometimes bring back information and facts, some of which you're not sure is accurate because you didn't previously know those facts? That happens to me all the time. Kids say, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how do we know that's true? And then they can show me. And then, wow, I learned the things that I would never have taught them because I didn't know it. They're learning because they're doing their own better research. That's a win every day of the week, right? So, Oh, that's a good one, Scott. Does it prove learning happened or does it show learning happened? When we're talking with a from PBL point of view, I think that's a great thing to say. With people who are not sure of the difference or that there is a difference, I think they hear those things as synonymous. So not a bad thing to think about for us. Let's talk, oh, wait, where'd it go? The quality of student-provided resources. Well, who knows where that slide is. The quality of information. So our kids are out researching, right? When your students are gathering resources and information, who's in charge of verifying the accuracy of their information? Have you been the one to vet all the resources? Yeah. Or are students learning how to evaluate and validate their own resources by learning how to triangulate data? And then they present to you how they know their information is accurate, right? And by the way, that isn't just for older kids too. Even our littles can figure out, okay, I know that this is right information because I found it here, I found it on a different site in a different way, and they can learn to do that. We don't have to wait until they're in some magical age or number to figure out how to triangulate information. The final product, what they're turning in, right? Are you ever surprised with the direction and the end results that kids come up with for the final product to illustrate or demonstrate what they've learned? If you are, that's PBL. Or do you always know what they're going to create before the project even starts and what the optimal results should be for that final product? See, there's times where I think I know what they should do. This is going to be the way it has to happen. And they'll come up with some really great ideas and I'll think, I would never have thought of that. That's PBL, y'all. How much does the aesthetics of the final product matter? Are you more concerned with the prettiness, the neatness, the care that they showed with their work? Ta-da! Or are you more concerned with the learning that happens? By the way, aesthetics does sometimes matter in PBL depending on the focus of the challenge or the question. Usually, though, it's more about the learning than the artistry and the pretty of the final deliverable. So which was the primary focus of the learning? Was it the academic standards only? Or was it the skills? Or were you able to bring in both academic content and skills equally vital in the success of the learning? It's PBL if it's both. Jenny, I absolutely believe that there's a way to look at projects and move into PBL. I did that all the time. As a very busy teacher, I'd be like, oh, I can't think of something totally, but this is close. And that's one of our questions. Which one is it? It's coming up. I don't see it on my list. So why don't we do that next Thursday? Well, if you'll remind me. And because next Thursday is the Ask Ginger Anything About PBL, let's hit that one, okay? Yep, Michelle, I agree. If they can't tell what's good information, how are they going to live in this world? Because some of their parents don't know. Some of our colleagues don't know. Let's move forward. Final presentations. Yep, final presentations. Here we go. I already had that one. There we go. Do students have a strong say in how they're assessed? Or do you create the rubric totally on your own? Do students have meaningful participation in the positive and constructive questions of their own and each other's work? That's PBL. Or is the teacher the only one who gets to assess the learning ever? Do the presentations include audience members from the outside of school world? I say real world, but school is real world for kids. So outside of school world, are the presentations published online in networks that have connections to the topic at hand? That's PBL. Or are the presentations kept within the confines of the school-related community? You know, that's kind of mostly it for us today. There's a lot of guru lists out there that kind of compare projects in PBL, and I've been dissatisfied with most of them because I see what's happening is that the gurus are giving us that list of perfect standards on how to do PBL. I say it doesn't have to be so complicated. Really, it's most about when the learning occurs. If the kids are learning something and then doing something to show what they've learned, that's a project. If it's learning by answering a question or challenge, learning by doing, that's PBL. You know what I mean by guru, right? By the way, the person sitting on that high mountaintop of a perfect school telling us peons that everything has to be just so. And if you're not doing it to a perfect standard, then you're doing it all wrong. How awesome would it be to work in a perfect environment that perfectly supports all innovation and PBL teaching, right? But that's not the reality for most of us. Most of us are in public schools and with all the kids, and I mean all the kids, top to bottom, with sporadic parental support, with administration that's doing the best they can if we're lucky, and a budget that could be known as the incredible shrinking account. Am I right here? Oh, and I didn't even mention the tests or the newest and latest curriculum structures, right? Or a crowded classroom, or there's always some type of reality kicking us in the shins as we run our daily marathon, am I right? And it gets tiresome. I say that if you're able to keep one eye on that guru's list, do it. But don't beat yourself up if you're only able to focus on the learning by doing point. That's the essential difference. When does the learning occur? You're going to get better with practice. Set your bar high to challenge you, but not to kill you. And then keep growing. So what did I miss on this list? What resonated with you? What do you want to get better at? I want to know in the comments here, y'all. Good stuff here. Ashley, I would love to do that. So also, if you guys come back on September 1st, Jenny already has my first question ready to go. September 1st, I'll tell us which of the four of you won the free Lessons for Life Practice Learning book. And if you're impatient to get your own copy, check out on the lifepracticepbl.org and you can pick up your own there. And if you want a Kindle version, which by the way is significantly less expensive because hello, it doesn't have paper in it, it should be cheaper. We made sure that it was, and you can find that over on Amazon. So that's it for tonight, y'all. Thanks for sticking with me. Cindy, you says I'm stuck on your screen. Lucky you. I'm so sorry. We have another chat coming up September 1st, which is this Thursday, believe it or not. The topic is, of course, Ask Ginger Anything. I think I'll be taking questions ahead of time because I like to pre-plan and think a little bit first. But I also want to take some live questions too, so it could be exciting and crazy. Anyway, see y'all Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific. I think I might have known what went wrong tonight, and I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. So thanks, everybody, for being here and being patient. I appreciate it.